Welcome back to Cedar Cove Farm. Today this is the first video of a short series that I'm going to put out all around the same topic. We are getting some new animals. Go ahead and guess down below. You got a minute before I reveal what it is. Oh man, the sun is just not looking good here, helping me out. So we're heading out to the barn. What we've got is barn chickens. What we've got showing up later today are meat chickens. Did anyone guess meat chickens? We've got some meat chickens showing up today, so I am getting everything ready. But I wanted to show you guys how we're gonna brood those meat chickens and raise them this year. So the first thing is the chicken tractor. If you've watched videos before, I use this outside. When the chickens are larger, they'll move outside, they'll stay in this. I'm also going to keep them in here when they're young. So what I have to get set up first is heat source. Chicks like to be somewhere 90 to 100 degrees when they're young, right? They sit under their mother hen typically. I don't have a mother hen. I do, but they don't want to be mother hens to the birds I'm getting. So what I have are heat plates. So you can kind of see here the chicks, they'll stand underneath the heat plate. That'll keep them warm, give them the warmth they need. So first thing I need to do is get these in there and get them set up. So let's get that going. So I've got the heat plate down here. The legs, electrical, get this out of the way. So the way this works is this is the bottom side, this is the top side with the decorative chicken. This will sit right here. I'll show you guys once it's up. But the chickens can come, the baby chicks can come and rest their back against here or stand under here to warm up. So the first thing is you've got these legs, they're adjustable. So we want to throw this in. Now what I want to do is set it up so you guys can't quite see. I'm on the ground, right? It's way too low. Chickens can't get underneath. These legs are adjustable. Still not enough height. We'll get it set. So I've got it here. This, I'm actually gonna go get measuring tape because you want to start it as low as possible. The lowest you want it is about, per the instructions, 1.5 inches above the litter. So I want to go measure that and make sure we get it as close as we can. So I'm going to start with this one here. I'm going to put the other one just a little bit lower, so then they have options. But I'm going to get that one put up and show you the next step. I've got the heater set up behind me over here. So next step is water. I've got a water right here. I'll add another water as they get bigger and they drink more. I'm just not going to put it in here for today. This will be enough for what we're getting today. We've got food. So I've got food here. I've got food here. Multiple options for food. The other thing I did is I've wired all the extensions and the electrical cords. I've wired them up. I've got a light in here. That's just for light because I've got a roof over the tractor. I'm not going to take that off. I'm going to wire the power cord for that up, and then we'll be ready for the chicks. And I'll show you that process when they get here later today. It's later in the morning. I got the call. Chicks are here. For those of you not familiar with how ordering day-old chicks works, they come in the post office. The post office is the only carrier that'll carry live birds. So they're hatched, immediately put into boxes and shipped. So we got to get them out and get them used to their area. There's a couple things, or one thing you really want to do with day-old chicks, and I want to show you that here. So we'll get it opened up. Let me grab you guys so you can see it here. So there's our chicks. They all look good. So what we've got to do, the first thing to do, is you need to dunk their head in water, or their beak, more to say, so they know where water is, know what to drink. Typically the mother bird would teach them that. So to do that, you're going to go in, grab the chick, put your head behind his thumb, and then let me tilt you guys down here. Just dip their beak in water. He's got a little drink, and he's good to go. So that's the step. Now what I need to do is get 56 more chicks out and keep them from running outside. Show you guys underneath. I also bought, this is a vitamin booster that you add to the water. They just ship that underneath the package that the chicks come in. So got that. That's the small box. And now you guys can see. Here's the rest of the chicks. You can see over here. Set you guys back down, maybe. The chicks are already pecking around, exploring, getting water. They're thirsty. They were born yesterday. They've been in a box. All right, all the chicks have had their beak dipped. You can see they're starting to explore around. I threw the mats that they came in out in here. So that green stuff is actually food. They put that on there for the chickens to eat on during their transport. It could take up to 3 days for where they're shipped to where they're going. Luckily, we're in the same state as the hatchery, so they shipped yesterday and showed up today. So the other thing you'll notice, they're figuring out about the heat plate. They can go stand under there if they're cold. They can run over, get water. There's plenty of food all over the place. So they seem to be good to go right now. Now what you want to do the first day, second day that you get baby chicks is you really want to watch their temperature. And by watch their temperature, you just want to watch what they're doing. So if they're constantly down underneath the heat plate, all huddled together, that means they're probably cold. You want to lower that heat plate so they can get a little warmer. If they're out running around, great. That means they're happy, they're hot enough. If they get cold, they know where to go back under the heat plate. If they're too hot, you'll see them not going under the heat plate and bunching together outside in the main area for heat. That means the heat plate needs to be risen up a little higher so it's not as hot on them. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll come out and check on them several times throughout the day to see how they're getting along. But since they've been transported for the last day, they're finally getting water, they're getting food, they're exploring their area. It's hard to tell right now, so I'll probably leave them be for an hour and come back and see how they're doing. I've come back to check on the chicks, see how they're doing. You can see some of them are out, but there's a lot of them down underneath the heat plates. You can kind of see back there. They're popping in and out. That's a good sign. That means if they want to stay warm, they go under the heat plate. If they're hot, they come out, which is good. They're not peeping a lot. If they're not peeping, it means they're content usually. So I've added the other waterer down to the other side. So if they're down at the far side heat plate, they don't have to go very far to get it. And yeah, they're doing good. Day 2 with the meat chickens. So going out this morning to check how they're doing. So first overnight, that's a big milestone for chicks because it got down to, I don't know, mid-60s overnight. So quite a bit lower than what they would like to be at. So let's go out, make sure they found the heat plate, found their way back under there, and see how they're doing. So I'll open the door. There's lots of chicks under heat plates. They're popping their heads out. I don't see any chicks anywhere else, which means they probably all found their way to bed at night. They don't look like they're shivering, they're pecking around. Everything looks good. So that means the heat plates are working. Get the door locked again. We've got barn cats. I don't want the cats to get in there. Everything's looking good. The light in there, it's set for a timer. It'll turn on at 7 a.m. this morning. So they're doing good. So they've made it almost 24 hours in our care, which means that they're probably pretty well set, so I don't need to come out and check on them every hour. I still need to come out in the morning, check their water, check their food. They still got plenty there. Come out in the evening, check their water, check their food, but that's the hard part. The hardest part, where you'll get the most losses typically, is right in the first couple days. So they've survived their journey, they found their water, their food, they found their heat source, so they're good to go. So now it's just time to keep them alive and keep going. All right, it's Saturday, still week 1, 5 days in. Tucker! Sorry, Tucker was chasing chickens again. It is 5 days in with the baby chicks. So, time to see how they're doing as we get out here. You can see they're all over the place. Let's open up the door. They're a little afraid of me. That's fine. I don't need them to come up to me, or I'm not going to handle them again other than when I take them outside and then when it's processing time. So come out and check. You can see they're eating up their food. This feeder over here was full. I filled it up yesterday. So they've made quite a dent in that. Their water still good. So what I'm gonna do today actually is, you can kind of see they're making a mess on top of the brooders. I didn't know that I'd need them right away, but the brooders came with these domes. I'll get those put on once I have a chance to set you guys down, but the domes will keep them from jumping up on top and making a mess. So I'll get a paper towel and just wipe, not wash, those are on and they're electric, so I don't want to put any water on them, but get those on. I may move the one that's a little lower up one peg, just because they're growing, they're getting bigger. That's what needs to happen. So the brooders need to come up a little bit so that it's not as warm for them, and so they have room to go in and out. One thing I didn't talk about is what breeds we've got here. So you may notice, if I go back in here a little ways, some of the chicks look a little different. So we've actually we ordered meat chickens and then ordered a few new egg layers. So what we've got are 50 ginger broilers is the breed of meat chicken. That's what we raise here. The typical production chicken at a grocery store, that would be a Cornish cross. The Cornish cross is a big fat bird. It's white. From hatch out to processing, Cornish cross takes 8 weeks in any kind of big time operation. One of the downsides I find with Cornish cross is they've been bred to just eat food, get big fast. They don't tend to get up and explore, peck around the grass, go around and do different things. They just eat their feed, drink their water, lay down. What we raise are rangers. They're a lot more active birds. So once we move them outside, they'll spend a lot of time actually foraging through the grass, pecking for bugs, eating the grass, looking for any seed that's out there. What that does is develops their muscle. So that actually, muscle development helps to build flavor in the chicken, because they're not just eating their feed. The muscle development, as well as eating the grass, eating the bugs, eating the seeds, those different, the chickens are pecking at a styrofoam container. That helps develop flavor, and then it's a 12-week bird, not a 8-week bird, so that extra time also builds a little more flavor into the bird. One of the other things is they are slightly tougher, but they're only, 12 weeks is still relatively young. It's not like a 3-year-old egg-laying hen that is tough and you really just want to make a soup out of it. So we've got 50, actually they shipped 52 of those, and then we ordered 5 Americanas for egg-laying birds. Americanas are the hens that lay blue-gray colored eggs. So we've got a few of those, and then when you order birds from where we ordered them, McMurray Hatchery, they will send you a free random bird. So there's one bird out here. Actually, I think we got 2 random birds according to the box. Don't know what they are till they grow up. Won't know. We'll see if they're roosters. they'll probably just go with the meat chickens. If they're hens, we'll keep them around to lay eggs. All right, it's the last day of week 1. You can see the chicks. They're all back in the corner hiding from me. We've got one that's adventurous, but they're getting big. We've lost 2 chicks so far. I'm not sure what happened to them. I just came out and unfortunately they were dead. So it happens. We're still up. We've got more chicks than we ordered. They ship extra. I think it just works out if they have extra. That's what they do, is they throw them in the orders. So as we move into week 2, making sure they have water, making sure they have feed is what we're going to be looking for. Start changing out the hay in their area more frequently because they're eating more, which means they're pooping more. But that's all I got for week 1. I'm gonna do their chores, but you've seen that a few times. But thanks for coming out. I'm gonna continue to do this as we go week to week and provide updates on these chickens and what the processes are and what we look for and how we go through everything here. So thanks for coming out to Cedar Cove Farm. We will catch you next week.